Let me ask you something. What if the most powerful action you could take to protect yourself from cancer after turning 60 had nothing to do with costly drugs, complex therapies, or the usual advice you hear from doctors? What if it were something so simple, so easily ignored, that most people completely dismiss it? And what if the scientific evidence supporting it has been quietly sitting in medical journals for years, consistently validating what only a handful of oncologists truly understood? Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal something that fundamentally transformed the way I guide my patients, and I believe it can permanently change how you approach your own health. My name is Dr. Ethan Parker. I've spent more than 20 years working with individuals facing cancer, from early prevention discussions to delivering diagnoses I wish I never had to give. I've sat across from thousands of patients, asking myself the same question again and again: what could have been done differently? After 2 decades, I have an answer. Not a perfect one. Cancer is far too complex for that. But there is one daily habit whose connection to cancer risk is so strongly supported, so repeatedly proven across multiple cancer types, that every person over 60 deserves to understand it. Most people think they already know it, but they don't truly understand it the way they should. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know what this habit is, but also how it works deep within your cells, how much of it you actually need, and the one critical mistake that cancels out all its benefits. Before we go any further, I need you to make a promise. Don't click away when I reveal this habit. Your instinct will be to say, "I already know this," but I assure you, you don't know what I'm about to explain. The science goes far beyond surface-level advice. First, you need to understand the biological truth that makes this habit so powerful. Without that foundation, it sounds like generic health advice, but with it, it becomes essential. Right now, inside your body, something is happening that most doctors never explain. Every single day, your body creates cells with genetic mistakes. This isn't abnormal, it's part of being human. Your DNA replicates billions of times over your lifetime, and errors are unavoidable. In a healthy system, 3 key defenses work together to catch and eliminate these errors before they turn into cancer. DNA repair enzymes detect and fix mutations. Your immune system, especially natural killer cells and cytotoxic T cells, targets and destroys abnormal cells, and a process called apoptosis, or programmed cell death, forces damaged cells to self-destruct before they can spread. These 3 systems form your body's built-in cancer defense network. They are designed specifically for this role. But here's the issue. After 60, all 3 begin to weaken. DNA repair becomes less efficient. Natural killer cell activity drops. Apoptosis becomes less responsive. This isn't illness, it's aging. But it means that the same cellular mistakes your body easily handled at 40 are more likely to slip through at 65. Your margin for safety shrinks. Maintaining these systems daily becomes more critical than ever, and this is where that habit becomes crucial, because research repeatedly shows that one specific daily behavior strengthens all 3 systems at once. It boosts DNA repair activity, increases natural killer cell function, and enhances apoptosis in potentially dangerous cells. One habit, 3 powerful effects, all working in your favor. Let me tell you about a patient I'll call Victor. He was 67, a retired accountant, precise, disciplined, someone who tracked everything. He came to me after a routine colonoscopy revealed 3 precancerous polyps. These were not cancerous cells yet. They were precancerous, cells already shifting in the wrong direction. Victor was deeply unsettled. His father had passed away from colorectal cancer, and his brother had undergone treatment for prostate cancer just 5 years prior. Sitting across from me, he asked a question I've heard countless times. What should I do now? I introduced him to the habit. I walked him through the evidence. I gave him a clear, structured plan and asked him to follow it consistently for 6 months before his next colonoscopy. We'll return to Victor shortly, because what we discovered at his follow-up became one of the most impactful moments I've witnessed in over 2 decades of clinical practice. The habit is movement, physical activity. More precisely, and this is where most people misunderstand it, consistent moderate intensity movement. Not extreme workouts, not marathon-level exertion, not expensive gym routines, just steady moderate activity performed regularly throughout the week. Let me clarify what the research actually demonstrates, Because public perception around exercise and cancer prevention is often so unclear that people either do far too little or quit entirely, believing the requirement is overwhelming. Here's what the evidence reveals. A major meta-analysis published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute, involving data from more than 1.4 million adults, found that higher levels of recreational physical activity were strongly linked to a reduced risk of 13 distinct types of cancer. Not just 13, including colon, breast, endometrial, kidney, gastric, bladder, esophageal cancers, and more. The reduction in risk ranged from approximately 10% to over 40%, depending on the cancer type and level of activity. These are not minor effects. A 40% reduction in risk for diseases with such serious mortality rates is clinically remarkable. Another large-scale study published in JAMA Internal Medicine showed that adults who met standard physical activity guidelines, 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week, had significantly lower cancer-related mortality compared to those who were inactive. That's 150 minutes weekly, roughly 21 minutes a day, a simple 20-minute walk. Let me emphasize that again so it truly registers. Just 20 minutes of brisk walking each day is associated with a meaningful reduction in cancer mortality among adults over 60. No expensive treatments, no prescriptions, no complex interventions, just a daily walk. Now let's break down the 3 biological mechanisms that explain why this works. First, physical activity and DNA repair. When you engage in moderate movement, your body enhances both the production and efficiency of enzymes responsible for repairing DNA damage. These include key enzymes within the base excision repair and nucleotide excision repair pathways, the same systems that correct genetic errors caused by normal cell replication, environmental toxins, and oxidative stress. Research published in Cancer Epidemiology, Biomarkers, and Prevention demonstrated that physically active individuals had significantly greater DNA repair capacity compared to sedentary individuals of the same age. This effect was especially strong in older adults, the very group most vulnerable to declining repair function. Physical activity doesn't just preserve DNA repair after 60, it actively restores part of what aging has diminished. This process is partly driven by a protein known as PARP, poly-ADP ribose polymerase, a critical responder to DNA strand damage, whose activity increases with regular movement. At the same time, physical activity reduces oxidative stress, the root cause of much DNA damage, by strengthening the body's internal antioxidant defenses, including superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione peroxidase. In simple terms, less damage being created and greater ability to repair what does occur, both happening at once. Second, natural killer cell activation. Natural killer cells, NK cells, are your immune system's frontline defense against cancer. Their role is precise. They continuously scan the body, identifying cells that exhibit abnormal surface signals, the early warning signs of precancerous or cancerous transformation, and eliminate them before they can multiply. After the age of 60, both the number and effectiveness of these NK cells begin to decline. This is one of the core reasons cancer rates climb so sharply with age. It's not only that genetic errors accumulate more frequently, it's that the immune surveillance system designed to detect and destroy those errors is no longer operating at full strength. Physical activity stands as one of the most powerful known triggers for activating and mobilizing natural killer NK cells. Even a single session of moderate exercise can rapidly elevate NK cell levels in the bloodstream. These cells are released from tissues and deployed into circulation, where they gain access to areas of abnormal cellular activity. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology demonstrated that just one 30-minute session of moderate exercise can increase NK cell count by as much as 50% in the hours that follow. But the more critical finding for long-term cancer prevention goes beyond single workouts. Consistent, repeated physical activity produces sustained improvements in NK cell performance. Older adults who remain physically active over time exhibit significantly greater NK cell cytotoxicity, the actual ability to identify and destroy abnormal cells, compared to sedentary individuals of the same age. In other words, the immune defense system doesn't just experience a temporary boost, it becomes fundamentally stronger with regular activity. This is the mechanism many oncologists highlight when explaining why physically active populations show lower cancer rates. The immune system is more vigilant, More abnormal cells are detected early and eliminated before they have the chance to evolve into clinical disease. Now, mechanism 3, inflammation and the internal environment where cancer develops. Of the three, this is arguably the most critical, yet it is the least discussed outside specialized medical circles. Chronic low-grade inflammation is now widely recognized as a defining feature of the cancer microenvironment. Cancer does not emerge in tissue that is functioning optimally. It develops and thrives in tissue marked by ongoing unresolved inflammation, elevated levels of interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor alpha, C-reactive protein, and other inflammatory markers that collectively create conditions favorable for abnormal cell growth. Here's what many people fail to realize. Sedentary behavior itself, not just a lack of exercise, but prolonged sitting and physical inactivity, directly drives systemic inflammation. A sedentary body sustains persistently elevated inflammatory markers, creating exactly the type of internal environment in which cancer is more likely to take hold and progress. Physical activity is the most strongly supported non-drug intervention for lowering chronic inflammation. Regular moderate movement reduces circulating levels of interleukin-6, CRP, and TNF-alpha, while increasing anti-inflammatory cytokines, such as interleukin-10. It also decreases visceral fat, the abdominal fat that actively produces inflammatory signals, even when overall body weight doesn't change significantly. What this means in real terms is simple. Every day you engage in consistent, moderate movement, you are reshaping your body's internal chemistry. You are making it less favorable for the conditions that allow cancer to grow. This change isn't dramatic or immediately visible. It's subtle, cumulative, and progressive, just like cancer itself develops quietly over years through repeated daily conditions. The difference is that movement shifts those conditions in your favor. If you've stayed with me this far, it's clear you care about what comes next. But many people watch, absorb the message, and move on without taking action. If this truly resonates with you, consider subscribing. It takes only a moment. Otherwise, there's a good chance you'll miss future insights that could make a meaningful difference in your health. Now let's address the critical mistake that undermines most of the cancer preventive benefits of physical activity, and it's one almost everyone makes: intensity. When people decide to exercise for their health, they often go too far, too quickly, and too aggressively. They jump into high-intensity routines, pushing themselves to exhaustion every session. And specifically for cancer prevention, this approach is misguided, not because high-intensity exercise is inherently harmful, but because the immune benefits tied to cancer protection peak at moderate intensity and begin to decline when intensity becomes excessively high. Research exploring the link between exercise intensity and immune performance shows a clear pattern. Moderate activity strongly activates NK cells and anti-inflammatory pathways, while very high-intensity exercise, the kind that leaves you unable to speak comfortably, can temporarily suppress immune function in the hours that follow. This open window of reduced immunity after exhaustive effort is well established in the field of exercise immunology. When it comes to cancer surveillance, the goal is not a cycle of suppression and recovery. You want your immune system operating steadily and efficiently, day after day. The most effective range for cancer prevention is moderate intensity, an effort level where you can still hold a conversation, but with slight breathlessness. Think brisk walking, relaxed cycling, swimming, dancing, or even sustained gardening. Any activity that elevates your heart rate to roughly 50–70% of its maximum and maintains it for 20 to 30 minutes. And here's the key principle. Consistency beats intensity every time. 5 20-minute moderate sessions spread across the week deliver greater immune and anti-inflammatory benefits than 2 high-intensity workouts. It's not about pushing harder, it's about showing up more often. Frequency of activation matters far more than peak effort in any single session. Now let me ask you something before we go further. How many days per week are you currently active for at least 20 minutes? Be honest. Put that number in the comments right now. The responses to that simple question consistently reveal the gap between what people plan to do and what they actually follow through on. Your number matters, and it may encourage someone else who is exactly where you were just months ago. I told you I would come back to Victor. 6 months after our first conversation, he returned for his follow-up colonoscopy. He had followed the plan precisely: 25 minutes of brisk walking, 5 days a week, no exceptions. He hadn't overhauled his diet. He hadn't added supplements. He hadn't made any other targeted changes, just consistent movement. This time his gastroenterologist found only one polyp, reduced from three, and that remaining polyp had not progressed. His inflammatory markers, CRP and interleukin-6, had dropped from elevated levels into the normal range. His NK cell activity, which we measured at baseline and again after 6 months, had risen by 34%. Sitting across from me, Victor said something I've repeated to many patients since. I spent 6 months walking. In that time I felt better, slept better, and it seems like my body finally started doing what it's supposed to do again. Why wasn't I told this 20 years ago? At the time I didn't have a satisfying answer. Now I'm trying to change that. The evidence supporting this has been building for decades. The biological mechanisms are clear. The required effort is realistic for most people over 60, and it costs nothing. Yet in many oncology discussions, including some of my own earlier in my career, this information is either briefly mentioned or overlooked entirely. That gap is exactly why I create content like this. Let's bring everything together in a clear, practical way. The single most consistently supported, repeatedly validated, and biologically understood habit for reducing cancer risk in adults over 60 is consistent moderate physical activity. Specifically, 20 to 30 minutes of moderate movement, such as brisk walking, cycling, or swimming, performed at a conversational pace on 5 or more days per week. It works through 3 powerful mechanisms: enhancing DNA repair enzyme activity, activating and strengthening natural killer cells, and reducing chronic systemic inflammation, the internal environment in which cancer develops and progresses. The major mistake to avoid is either doing nothing because the effort seems too small to matter, or going too far with excessive intensity and repeatedly weakening the very immune response you're trying to build. So here's what I want you to do today, not next week, not when conditions are perfect, but today. Choose a single 20-minute window in your schedule and dedicate it to movement. Walk around your neighborhood, take a relaxed bike ride, or do 15 minutes of activity followed by 5 minutes of stretching. Pick something simple that you can repeat tomorrow and the day after. The first day requires effort. The second becomes easier. By the end of the first week, the habit begins to take shape. By the end of the first month, your NK cell activity is already measurably higher than where you started. That's not motivation, that's biology in motion. Now tell me what part of this shifted the way you think about cancer prevention. Share it in the comments. I read every response. And if this message gave you something you can actually use, pass it on. Someone you care about needs this information and may not have heard it yet. A parent, a partner, or a close friend who may already be facing a cancer diagnosis and searching for every credible, evidence-based option available. That single share could become one of the most valuable actions you take for their well-being today. Subscribe if you want more direct, research-driven discussions rooted in what the science actually demonstrates. In the next video, I'll break down 5 specific foods that growing evidence is linking to increased cancer risk in adults over 60, and at least 2 of them are foods widely assumed to be healthy. Take care of your body, start moving today, and remember this: the most powerful tool you have to fight cancer isn't something you buy at a pharmacy. It already exists within you waiting to be activated. You just need to trigger it. Disclaimer: everything presented in this video is drawn from published oncology research, large-scale epidemiological data, and established findings in exercise immunology. This is intended for general educational purposes only, and is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Cancer risk is multifactorial and cannot be fully addressed in a single discussion. If you have concerns about your cancer risk, a personal or family history of cancer, or any underlying medical condition, it is essential to consult directly with your physician before making changes to your lifestyle or activity levels. Your doctor understands your individual health profile. This content is meant to support informed conversations, not replace professional medical guidance.